situation. So we have for the final talk in this session, we have Xiaomei Wu, who is like going to zoom in. Is the tech support there already? Like they said they would be here now. Signal. I would expect him to be here, like that we can start it right away. So Shaomei Wu is like a graduate from the Cornell Ithaca PhD program, and she's currently having an NGO in San Francisco that is focused on speech accessibility. So like both making speech accessibility more known and so the consequences of that, but at the same time also working on like new technology to support people with speech disabilities. She herself is also stuttering. So like, you know, in the presentation, you might see that sometimes the transcription is going to struggle with this. This is part of like one of the important reasons why she's doing the work that she's doing. And I would expect her to kind of pop up on the screen soon.
Do you guys see my screen or no? I'm actually presenting.
They were waiting for my signal. But, oh,
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, Xiaomei, well, 1 second. You're not on the screen yet.
Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, to Zoom attendees. Oh, so how should I share?
And unfortunately, due to family circumstances, she could not make it in person. She was planning to be here. She will also participate later in the policy panel. So you have a chance to kind of interact more with her virtually and with the other people who are like sort of working on tech policy for people with disabilities after lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry for not being able to make it there with you all. I had my suitcase packed and you know all that ready to go, but had to cancel last minute. It seems like I need some kind of permission to share my screen, but
All right, there's our tech support.
like Jasmine is working on it. Oh, okay.
All right, this looks better.
Is it working?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Hi. Okay.
All right.
All right. Hello. Can you hear me, Shaomei?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. All right. So did the event space get access to your screen?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna not use the full screen to show my slide, because if I do that, I cannot see you guys. Or you know, just see the room, and that feel really awkward, just kind of talking to my own computer. I hope that's okay. Can you guys see my slides okay?
I think we can, but it does look like it's still like not in presentation mode.
Oh, actually it's not. Yeah, it's not the right one. Let me. This one? Yeah, it's not in. Yeah, it's not in
the
presentation
top right corner, there's this
because if I
present
do
icon.
in the yes, but if I do that, I cannot see the Zoom window. I cannot see the chat. I cannot see your I cannot see any of the non verbal reaction from you. So that's why I don't want to do the. Is that okay? Can you guys see the words?
Yes, like let's do that then. All right, then.
Yeah.
All right, Xiaomei, the stage is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you so much.
Very excited for your presentation.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the setup and the delay. So, and then also you guys are in luck because I do stutter and I know that things are delayed, so that I'm between you and lunch. So just be patient. If you are starving, please go. You do not need to wait there. Okay, so first of all, about me. So thank you, Thais, for the wonderful introduction. So my name is Shaomei Wu, and I was Cornell information science alumnus. You can see here, and then hopefully you can see two other familiar and friendly faces that you guys all know. So after Cornell, I went to work in the tech industry. So I worked at Meta for almost 9 years, working a lot of these kind of social impact, like work as well as things. Most notably, maybe is like I researched and built the automatic art text feature on Facebook and Instagram. And I know a lot of folks there also studied that feature and research that led to that feature. For example, if you are there in the space, hi, and thank you. And and then also before I complete my PhD, I interned in a whole bunch of tech companies. That's why kind of the title is from Silicon Valley. And then after that, I founded Empower in the beginning of 2022. After I left Meta, partially because burned out, but then also partially because I just learned that there's a fundamental constraint within the corporate structure to support the kind of work that I want to do. That that will deliver the long-term sincere empowerment to those who have been underserved and left out of technology. So I think maybe a better way of doing it is to build a non-profit organization so that I can remove the kind of fundamental drive to making profit, and then I will be able to do things just in a more sincere way. And lastly, I want to share that I am a person who stutters. Those who have known me for a long time, especially my friend and mentor from Cornell, probably will be a bit surprised because I have never shared that when I was at school, and also actually for a very long time while I was working. I told my colleague at Meta about my stutter on my last day. So yeah, so that you can see like how much that was a journey for me to make peace of my own stuttering identity. But on that note, stuttering is actually quite common. It impacts 1% of the world population. However, I don't think most people do not encounter a lot of people who stutter in their day-to-day life. In fact, while I was completing my PhD, and then when I went to all those conferences like Kai, I don't think I have ever heard another presenter who stutter. So as a result, it's just a very isolating experience for me. And my stutter together also share with a lot of other people's varies a lot. So I stutter very differently with my family versus in a public presentation like this. Presentation is often more challenging for me, but that's not the same case for all the other people who stutter. For some people, actually, they prefer presentation than kind of conversations. but for me, that's the opposite. And then also the challenge with stuttering, even though it appear to be with speech production, but actually most of the impact it's actually underneath. It's what the other people cannot see, because when I'm stuttering, it's like such a emotionally loaded moment. For example, just now, maybe you could notice that I actually looked away, and I think that is because of I was all those feedback that I have received before told me that there's something wrong when I stutter. So I don't feel comfortable. I still feel ashamed, and I still feel just bad about it, even though I think I have come a long way of finding peace with it. But my body, it's still wired in the way that make me automatically look away. And then also stuttering has a significant real world impact. Research have shown that people who stutter are more likely to be rejected socially and also suffer from a lot of negative stereotypes, and are also generally underemployed, and also receive up to 20% less pay for the same job. So yeah, so it has a lot of negative consequences as a result of stuttering, but actually more as a result of the social stigma around stuttering. So as a result, I for a really long time choose to mask my stuttering and mask my identity as a person who stutter, because it made me feel very vulnerable and also subject me to a lot of assumptions or potentially different treatment that I do not necessarily want to go through. And then what helped me to cope with that? First of all, it's a lot of public advocacy around stuttering, which I think we have been seeing more and more. And then second is I started to take affirmative stuttering therapy, and I want to suggest the affirmative piece, because I have also taken a lot of fluency shaping therapy before. I was taught a bunch of tricks to make myself sound more fluent, and then basically just more normal. That talking weekly or singing when I'm talking. So as you could see, you could hear, all those tricks are just kind of added struggle to my speech production, and also make me sound not like myself rather than somebody else, just for the sake of the my listener, that you guys can maybe save in 10 sentences. Anyway, so what helped me tremendously, the affirmative therapy, which really helped me to construct and identify myself as a person who stutter, and then the method to kind of live my life with that identity. And then lastly, I also benefit tremendously from the support from both the stuttering community as well as the disability community in general. Partially thanks to my work on the accessibility space, I got to know and work with a lot of people with various disabilities, including people who suffer as well as other kind of like other neurodiversity. Process is also very it's also very helpful for me to recognize and my own self stigma around disabilities and to find way to cope with that. So to really amplify the power of a community, as I myself experiences in my journey to accept my identity as a person with disability. I wanted to create this organization that can really amplify and make true impact with that power. So I find it empower to create and to co-create, imagining empowering technologies for with and by marginalized communities to remove barrier, create tangible benefit, and maximize public interest. So we do that through first conducting community-centered research to identify the true the technological problems the community is facing, and then we work with the community to co-design and co-developed social technical solutions to address those problems. And then in that process, we did a lot of technical mentorship, coaching, and as well as consultancy to marginalized communities. So then we can build capacity in that process. And then lastly, we know that the solutions or the changes should not be only limited to technology. So we also do a lot of social and public advocacy to foster a deeper and structural changes in the world. So thankful all our funders so far, and we are always looking for more support. Okay, so as a case study, in the past 3 years, I think, we have been working a lot with the stuttering community to unpack the tension between stuttering and telecommunication technologies. This is partially due to my own connection to the cause, but more importantly, it's when we look at kind of the current not only the accessibility, but also just the kind of technological research in general. There's very, very little effort kind of at looking at the stuttering population and their needs. Even with the kind of limited investment in that space, most of them will really focus on, again, fluency shaping, like making people who stutter sound more fluent and more similar to to the fluent speakers, basically removing our own unique way of speaking and the value and the place of stuttering speech in our society. And that is actually kind of a root cause of all my traumas with stuttering. So we want to really just that head on. So to do that, we conduct a lot of research with people who stutter, both in person on Zoom. We also go to a lot of community events, and we host focus workshop and focus groups to just talk to to basically just ask people what's not working. So in that process, we have identified two major technological challenges for people who stutter. The first one is video conferencing, like the Zoom. As I was just showing, there's a lot of like Zoom wasn't designed in a way that is most empowering for a person who started like me. So I have to do a lot of customization and kind of work its way to make it easier for me to have my voice heard on Zoom. And then the second technological barrier is speech AI. As you could imagine, they are also not designed for speech with these fluencies. So that just poses a lot of challenges for people who stutter as well. I cannot really see the subtitles that I assume it's auto generated right now, but in my past, but based on my past experiences, they are often very awful for my speech. So after we identify these two major technological challenges for people who stutter, we tackle them one by one. For the interest of time, I think I may just focus on the first one, and then I will skip over the our solution for speech AI. So we conduct a lot of research to understand why video conferencing is hard for folks who stutter. Yeah, you can read our full papers if you want. There are 2 Kai papers, including one that I wrote last year with Jingjing and Gilly, both from Cornell, based on my own experience with Zoom. So I guess that's another benefit of coming out with my own, I be comfortable with my identity as a person who stutter, because now I got to write auto ethnography. Okay, so basically, Zoom is not designed for those with marginalized voices. It's like people who stutter often relying a lot and are also master of non-verbal communications, which Zoom really are not supporting. So for example, now I cannot really see you guys the face, I cannot see your eye contact, I cannot see you nodding or smiling. I don't know whether you are following me, and that really enhance a lot of the challenge and the anxiety that it's created by stuttering. So anyway, it's not empowering for a person who stutter, which I think Zooming is hard for kind of everyone, but the challenge is really amplified by the lived experience of people who stutter. So then through those research, what we are finding is really just not only like how Zoom does not work for a person who stutters, but how Zoom is not designed to kind of support us to all form a better, deeper personal connections with each other over the virtual meetings. So based on that, we did a lot of co-design. I think we 50 people through 1 year of time of how we can reimagining remote meetings to just make it more inclusive and empowering for all voices to be heard. And introducing Liberate. This is the Zoom app that we co-designed and developed with people who stutter. It's currently beta testing on Zoom's marketplace. Let me zoom in a little bit. As you can see, all those features are really customized to not hide your stutter or your identity as a person who stutter, but to really celebrate it and to get and to build the more public awareness of your need as a person who stutter. Or I think it's also just general, we all come to the Zoom meeting with that need, and we want to make it okay to share that need and to tell all the other meetings in the Zoom room how to better support us. So we have this customizable cognitive messages, which actually right now I also have, which is on my computer screen. And then we also designed a way for you to participate non-verbally in a more convenient way. And we also support people to share something about themselves that will enable others in the meetings to be more understanding of our need. And to just as a kind of PSA to tell people what it means that when you are talking to somebody who stutter or somebody who's sick, and then how should they best accommodate. And then we also have mindfulness, which you can also do some kind of mindfulness sessions if in the in the middle of a Zoom meeting. For example, actually just now I did a 90-second grounding exercise before my talk. Okay, so Liberate has been beta launched for I think just a month now. And one of our current users really want to continue using it, and they will share it with other people who stutter. That it's a very high mark for us. Okay, so moving on to speech AI. I know I'm gonna skip, so I will, but I think you all know that speech AI does not really support diverse speech such as stuttering. And then, so we work with the stuttering community to co-design social technical solutions to address that by both collect more authentic stutter speech data and then using those data to audit and to better understand why those models does not work. And then lastly, we have also implemented some changes to the model through, for example, fine tuning that enable those models to be much better performing with stutter speech. You can see there's a long list of papers that we have published in that topic, and all those names that are bolded are folks who stutter. So, so that as you can see in that process, this work is really done and by people who stutter. And I will skip how I did it, but I want to show you the result after we fine tune whispers. OpenAI's whisper model with the stutter speech that we have collected reduce its transcription error rate by 50 to 60%, which is a huge win for us. And as I also mentioned, that we also are actively engaged in the advocacy efforts surrounding stuttering and the normalizing stuttering in our society as well as in the tech. So those are kind of recent campaigns that we have run to just push back on, for example, the first one, another app that trying to kind of make people who stutter to sound more fluent. And then we also co-designed recommendations for meeting facilitators and all the meeting attendants to be more supportive to people who stutter. And then we have also commissioned some artwork with artists who stutter to make posters and to, just to kind of raise public awareness about making room for stuttering. So I'm going to end here with a quote from Mia, one of my favorite disability activist, as she say that I don't just want us to get a seat at someone else's table. I want us to be able to build something more magnificent than a table together with our accomplices. So I invite you to build this, something a lot more magnificent than a table with empower. So come to be our accomplices. So I will end here, and I'm ready for some question. And also, if you are starving, please go.
And now even amplified. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I just want to I think we're going to do like 1 or 2 questions now, but like in the interest of lunch, we also need to make sure that the program continues. So Shaomei will also be in one of the panels. So if you want to talk more about any of the related topics, she will be available at 2 o'clock to kind of like engage more in sort of the topics around this. We have time for like 1 or 2 questions. I see Shiri has her hand up. So.
Hi, Shaomei.
Hi, Shiri.
Good to see you. Can you tell us, maybe you mentioned this, but I didn't quite get it. How exactly do you customize Zoom? You mentioned that you customize it to make it like easier for you to use. And then also, how does the product that you developed, how does the product that you developed exactly how, like in terms of the features, does it affirm the stutter?
Sorry, my kids are to feed me. It's lunchtime here too, I guess. Okay.
No, it's
Sorry.
breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay. Thank you for that correction. Close the thank you. Close the door. So back to first, how do I customize Zoom? So for example, like I always turn off my self view. I don't know why. The Zoom, and also I think almost all the other video conferencing tools always have self view as the default. because if we are meeting somebody in person, we do not look at our own face. It's not like you are gonna hand like hand a mirror in front of you, and that is actually very distracting. I think just for all, like kind of make us look at our own face rather than fully engage with the waiting and with the conversations that we are having. So I think that design decision itself is just definitely not made with people who stutter. And a lot of people who stutter have told me that seeing their own face in the meeting, especially at the moment of stuttering, it's very triggering. And I find it the same too. So, so I always turn it off. But then now, in fact, I can kind of see myself on the room, screen. And I guess it's okay because it's tiny from my view. But sometimes when I go to a kind of presentation or or webinar, like the setting will be like to highlight the speaker. And then in a sense that even if I turn on my own self view, I will have to be forced to see myself. And that is just not a good design because I do not have this option. I do not have this agency anymore. So that's just one kind of example of how I customize my zooming. And the second question, can you repeat that a little more, like, because my kids were in the room, so I was a little bit distracted.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how the features of the product you developed affirm your identity as a person who stutters.
Yeah, okay. I don't know whether you can see it. Maybe it's too small. But for example, like this is one of the name tag is actually one of the kind of most liked features because it allow you to share something about yourself. So for example, I'm sharing that I'm a person who stutters. So that it will actually show up in the Zoom meeting. For example, you can see here, that's the name tag somebody has built so that all those other meeting, attendees, they can see that all the time. So that just kind of save the energy or the it'll be of the kind of social barrier for that to say it out loud. And actually, people who stutter sometimes carry a kind of like some kind of paper to share that, like when they are encountering someone. And I think that also it's just a kind of reaffirming of my